you've met this person who you thought you'd spend your entire life with. You spend every single day together. You have arguments, you go through some pain and you make some mistakes and you mend them. But what ends up happening is you lose each other. You go through a breakup and ultimately it feels like your whole world is crumbling. Ultimately it feels like you've lost the person who you were supposed to spend forever with without realizing this one important thing. Stop blaming yourself. It's all about taking responsibility for the things that you could have improved, yes. But just remember that just because things didn't work out, it's not your fault. And too many people, including myself, who've recently gone through this type of situation, it's very hard to deal with that guilt. It's very hard to deal with the fact that we keep on blaming ourselves. We keep on asking ourselves what went wrong, what could we have done differently, should we have changed ourselves? And the answer to all of those questions is no, you couldn't. You cannot change your core values and the person who you are. And if your partner's core values and your core values differ too much, and ultimately that is a sign to end it. Doesn't matter how much you love a person. Love is one thing. If we look at the reality, if we look at compatibility, if we look at goals and aspirations for the future, they need to somewhat align. They don't need to exactly be the same. If your goals and your aspirations of your partner and your goals and your aspirations do not match anyhow, your outlook on life does not match, well, then that's a bitter pill to be able to swallow. But you need to swallow it. And ultimately, the number one mistake that people make when judging whether or not to end a relationship is, what should I do to change myself? Should I change myself? You can't. And ultimately, you can't change someone also. You could help them become a better person. You could help them get a better job. You could help them in all other facets of life. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. Just remember that you can only do so much. So stop blaming yourself everything that has occurred as of recent. And you're probably watching this video because you've recently gone or are going through a breakup at the moment. And the one thing I'd like to tell you and myself at the moment is be kinder to yourself. It's very hard to not blame yourself for this type of situation because you always think about the good things, right? We remember all the good things without recognizing the fact that they were red flags that were pointed to us, yet we ignored them. It's ultimately about recognizing mistakes that you've made in this one. Not holding any grudges per se. I don't believe in holding grudges. I just believe in distancing yourself. And sometimes post-breakup, I've made that mistake. I've tried to plead. I've tried to convince that person that I will change this and I'll change that. But at the end of the day, when you sit back and you logically think about it, why should you? And why did you expect the other person to change as well? See, a relationship should flow naturally, guys. There's going to be troubled waters, sure. And you're not going to exactly align with your partner. But there needs to be somewhat of a mutual understanding between you. There needs to be somewhat of a mutual or shared outlook on life between you two. Otherwise, clashes are going to be too immense and you may think that they're going to end, but they're going to keep on getting worse and worse and worse, and you're going to keep on ignoring them as you go along. We fall in love with the person, yes, but we also fall in love with the fact that we have that companionship, that we're not alone, that there's someone always backing us, there's someone who we can come home to. And ultimately when we lose that, it's very traumatizing. It's like someone has died. It's like someone has passed on, and because that's what happened. You lost that person. You lost a piece of your soul, and it feels so numb. It feels like you've lost just a part of who you were. That's the mistake we made. We became too attached. We became codependent in a very toxic way that destroyed our self-worth, and that is not what you're worth. If you're watching this video right now, be kinder to yourself. Accept the mistakes that you've made. Yes, you weren't perfect in this relationship, you weren't, but you did your best. You did what you could. Forgive yourself. Let's go. Let's move on.